Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and while I told you guys that like my previous video, my previous video and my newest video, the genres would be totally different. I did prepare you guys for that with my my channel introduction because today we're going from obscure Japanese horror to mainstream American animation. Today, I'm going to be talking about Disney Pixar's Inside Out, which yes, and yes, you're not being deceived here. You don't have to adjust your screen. This is my very first time watching the critically acclaimed Academy Award winning Disney Pixar animation from 2015, Inside Out. Never seen it before, and just a few minutes ago, I watched it on Disney Plus for the very first time. And what do I think of what many considered for a very long, I won't say a very long time, but for a minute, what many considered to be and still considered to be like arguably Pixar's best work? Because yeah, this is I've noticed that this kind of ranks high for a lot of people when talking about the Pixar movies, and I do know a few people who say like this is one of Pixar's best. It's amazing, it's so deep, it's so thought-provoking, the characters are great. Like the hype for this was just like indescribable because I was old enough, I was like 16, 15, 16 when it came out, so I was old enough to remember the hype train, and that's never really died down, and that's one of the reasons why I watched it. Yeah, what do I think of what many consider to be Pixar's best? Yeah, it's all right. So getting it out of the way, no, this isn't like gonna be in my top pick. My top five favorite Pixar films. No, in my personal opinion, I don't consider it to be the very best Pixar movie. That is currently and probably will always be Ratatouille. Ratatouille is my comfort movie. And in my opinion, that's Pixar's masterpiece. But this, wasn't bad. Like I said, it was fine. It was all right. So what I liked, I'm trying to, I'm gonna emulate Joy here. What I liked about the movie, what made me happy, definitely were the characters, the literal, this colorful ensemble of emotions, joy, sadness, anger, fear. Um, Go ahead. Who am I forgetting? Disgust. All very colorful characters, all wonderfully voiced. All well acted, and all very funny. I think standouts for me. Who were my favorites? Anger had a lot of funny lines that actually had me chuckling. Anger and fear actually had me laughing the most. Not gonna lie. Um, Joy and Sadness were good because this movie, like I've never bothered to like look at a plethora of reviews on Inside Out. I never really bothered to you know research the plot or look up a synopsis. So I pretty much went into this blind. Although this came out 7 years ago, I you know never knew anything about this movie. So I went into Inside Out not really knowing what it was about, not really knowing what it was, how it was gonna go, and the plot that the main plot is the reason why I say like, it's just okay. It's a coming of age story. These emotions, you guys probably all know the story. I'm probably like the last person on the planet to watch this movie for the first time. But yeah, these emotions live inside the head of this adolescent girl named Riley, who is moving away from her childhood home to San Francisco, and just that typical coming of age story where she's the new girl, the new kid who's learning to adjust to a new lifestyle. And the movie go focuses on how tricky that can be for a kid going through adolescence, a kid growing up, a kid who spent their childhood in one place and now all of a sudden they're being made to move. And I was I can't say I relate a lot, but I do kind of feel Riley's pain just from knowing I've had a handful of friends. One in particular stands out where they moved to a new place and they used to tell me about how hard it is to move from place to place. Yeah, I had one friend whose parents like traveled around a lot, and it seems like they were we always like moving somewhere else. We kept in touch like even after he moved away from where I live, but he still like told me just how hard it is adjusting to that. So I imagine it's pretty tough on a kid. I was fortunate enough to live this same place my whole life and kind of stay in contact with the same people I knew. I grew up with the same kids all throughout elementary and high school. But I can imagine that it's really tough. From that during that age to like just all of a sudden have to move and say goodbye to your friends, say goodbye to places that you used to go to, all that good stuff. And I imagine that's why they tackle that a lot in a lot of animated movies and kid movies for kids. The kid moving away, because that is nothing at all that's new. That's done, like that's been done so many times, and I can understand why they focus on it. And yeah, Inside Out does capture that part pretty well. I'm not gonna say it's like excellent. Yeah, like the scenes, I guess on the outside, going the scenes that go on outside of Riley's head kind of just feel like kind of cut and dry, kind of redundant. Again, Riley's an adolescent. She's going through an awkward phase. She's very moody, and her parents are just doing the best, pretty much just doing the best they can to support their daughter and make sure she's happy. That's it. Nothing major stood out on that end with all the stuff that goes on outside of Riley's head. The stuff that goes on inside her head, very creative, very colorful, very imaginative. I will say that, but nothing exceptional. Nothing that made me go like, "Holy shit! This is like Pixar's masterpiece. This is like Pixar's tour. This is Pixar's." Pièce de Resistance. I know I butchered that pronunciation. This is Pixar's magnum opus. I'll say nothing that made me like go like that. Did they have a name for all the stuff inside her head? I don't think they called the whole. I know they called the like their main, the main like brain center where they make her feel all the different emotions, headquarters. But I don't think they had a name for the whole thing. If they did, I missed it. But yeah, that whole world inside of Riley's head was very colorful, very creative, very clever, very well put together. I chuckled a lot at some of like these very sly pop culture references, and just kind of like how they kind of made fun of the very complex entity known as the human mind and all the different emotions. It was clever, and I think it was well done enough. But yeah, nothing about Inside Out just really like made me go like, oh my gosh, this is an animated masterpiece. Nothing about it really excited me too much, but it was very quite enjoyable. That scene, I won't go into it, but you all know what I'm talking about. That scene did almost make me tear up. It was very emotional, but other than that one scene, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I know you guys do. I don't even need to say it, but that apart from that one scene, I just, ironically enough, I wasn't like getting overly emotional about Inside Out at all. It was just kind of like another animated movie where it's like, we got to get from point A to point B because, through a mishap, we've been separated from our, where we're from our daily duty that we're supposed to do to keep things running smoothly, and now we got to get back over there before everything falls apart. That's animation studios and animated movie excuse me, animation studios really love that plot line, right? Like there's somebody who's supposed to do a job that keeps things running smoothly, and then through a mishap they get separated. Now they have to go on this life-changing odyssey to get back to their job, and they learn things along the way. And yeah, I mean, I know that's a lot of movies. There's like a life-changing quest that forces people to like look within themselves. But I noticed like a lot of animated movies really love that one, especially ones that focus on like animated characters performing some sort of function that's essential to like life itself, as i.e. Animated characters that are supposed to represent like human emotions themselves. We can't live without human emotions, so you guys know what I mean. Yeah, that sort of thing. um yeah, all yeah all after all said and done, not my favorite Pixar movie. Doesn't really stand out to me. Ironically enough, and I'll say this too. Ironically enough, stuff like Inside Out, stuff like Soul, what else? Well, I think those two, as far as I know, are like the deepest Pixar movies that like really hit kids with like these hard philosophical lessons that might go over their heads the first time they watch it, if they're like really young kids, and that when they revisit it later, then they'll be like, oh, okay. Ironically, like those two aren't my favorites, and those two don't resonate with me on a spiritual level. Ironically, it's like, I mean, all the Pixar movies are deep, to some capacity, but ironically, the ones that don't focus on like the existential stuff resonate with me on a spiritual level. Stuff like Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, Monsters Inc. Those are the ones that resonate with me on a spiritual level. So yeah, there you have it. All in all, I would give Inside Out. What am I thinking? I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. Good, not great. I don't think it'll be one of my favorites anytime soon. Maybe one of these days I'll rewatch it. But for now, after this first watch, just wasn't ultra impressive. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I did like elements of it, but I didn't fall in love with it. So yeah. So yep, this was another edition of Wade Watches. This was me talking about Disney Pixar's Inside Out 2015, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'll see y'all next time.